To seek revenge for the assassination of the heir to the throne, Austria-Hungary declares war on Serbia. Russia, an ally to Serbia, declares war on Austria-Hungary, while Germany, an ally to Austria-Hungary, declares war on Serbia and the Russian Empire. France, an ally to Russia, declares war on Germany and Austria-Hungary, and Britain, an ally to France, also declares war on Germany and Austria-Hungary. The Ottoman Empire allied with Austria-Hungary and Germany and declared war on Russia, France, and Great Britain. Sparked by the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, and fueled by old national rivalries and a stockpiling of military power, Europe is torn apart and plunged into World War I, also known as the Great War.
World War I was known as the first modern war. With the adaptation of new weapons such as machine guns, airplanes, and poisonous gas, it was difficult for generals to find strategies to take advantage of these new weapons, while also keeping their soldiers safe. The combination of these new weapons and old war technique led to the slaughter of millions of soldiers. Armies dug in trenches and charged each other into the area known as No Man's Land. With new machine guns and poisonous gas, these soldiers were quickly slaughtered. Within a 3-year period of 1914 through 1917, no side held an advantage. Americans overwhelmingly wished to remain neutral and out of the war. The US saw it as a European affair and therefore not worth sending US boys to die in.
By staying out of the war and remaining neutral, US companies profited greatly during the war by sending goods to the Allied powers. The Allied nations bought guns, submarines, explosives, food, and other war goods from United States businesses.
Germany unleashed a deadly new weapon, the U-boat, or submarine. Submarines could sneak up on a ship and destroy it without any notice. Germany announced unrestricted submarine warfare. This is when German U-boats would sink any ship in British waters, regardless of who they were. This put US ships directly in harm's way. This included military vessels as well as passenger liners. It didn't take long for tragedy to strike. On May 7th of 1915, a German U-boat torpedoes the British liner the Lusitania off the coast of Ireland. Nearly 1,200 people are killed, including 128 Americans.
Despite American calls for peace, Germany pushed ahead for open war with the United States due to its favoritism of the Allied powers. On January 16, 1917, Great Britain intercepted a telegram intended for the German ambassador to Mexico. In the telegram, Germany proposes an alliance between Mexico and Germany against the United States. Germany assures Mexico that Great Britain is on the verge of defeat, and that a war against the United States would be quickly won. In 1917, American boys are off to fight in Europe.
American troops formed the American Expeditionary Force, known as the AEF. Led by General John Blackjack Pershing, the AEF fought as a separate army from other Allied forces. They infused new blood into the Allied effort and were affectionately known as Doughboys and Yanks. World War I was known as the first modern war and introduced the era of mechanized warfare. We see the introduction of tanks, airplanes, machine guns, and poison gas, along with other weapons of mass destruction. Americans quickly learned that old tactics like trench warfare and running in lines would not work against these new advanced weapons.
Trench warfare had made cavalry charges pointless. Armored cars had been used before and during the war, but they were also immobile on the muddy terrain of no man's land. A British Army officer, Colonel Ernest Swinton, therefore proposed a new fighting vehicle to break the stalemate on the Western Front, the tank. The first tanks arrived in Europe on August 30th, 1916, and on September 15th, 36 tanks made an attack at the Somme. Originally, there had been 50 of these machines, but some were bogged down in the mud. Nevertheless, British infantry used the tanks as bullet shields as they advanced upon the stunned German army.
In late September 1918, American forces amassed along the Western Front in France to participate in a set of simultaneous Allied offensives against the weary German army. The goal was to break the Hindenburg Line. In the American sector, General John J. Pershing commanded the attack, the largest American run offensive of World War I. In order to reach their objective, the Americans had to fight through the dense Argonne forest. The confused battle in the Argonne led to the famed Lost Battalion. The Lost Battalion became separated and surrounded by German forces for 6 days before being rescued. In that week, almost 200 men were killed, another 200 missing or taken prisoner out of a starting force of 554. This battle also witnessed the heroic actions of Corporal Alvin York, who captured 132 Germans. The Americans finally cleared the Argonne Forest by 31 October, and they would advance nearly 20 more miles before the signing of the armistice on 11 November. The Battle of the Meuse-Argonne cost over 26,000 lives, but exemplified the American resolve and ability to contribute to the war.